to Soul Guidance Reading with me, Rafa. Now, these are my monthly full moon. Actually, it's not a full moon, it's a new moon. And we have got the solar eclipse. So it's a real big deal that we have this new moon in Sagittarius, which is all about sort of judgment. It's all about new beginnings. It's all about being the adventurer. And it's all about actually sort of endings as well. And the reason it is very much about endings on this particular new moon, it's because it's hitting the south node, which is also the Sagittarius axis nodal point. All right, so I've already laid the cards here. Last month I started doing, I always kind of change my layout, but last month I did 3 stack readings. So anyone who's watching this can choose one of the 3 or all of the 3. It doesn't really matter. You might find that if all the messages make sense to you and there's some resonance to you, or you might just sort of kind of play about and choose one of the stacks, which I'll go through. But the overall message I find really with this particular new moon for everybody, so I'm just going to give you a quick general, is about new soul path carving. So this is really a time now. This new moon is very much that we're in the month of December. It's on the 14th of December, depending on what time it will be. It depends on where you are in the world. I have no idea. I didn't bother looking it up on the GMT time scale, but do have a look according to where your place is. And the energy of the full moon normally is very much a 48-hour, sort of energetically for intention. So it's a really good time to lay your seeds for the new path. And this is really much a new pathway, new moon. So I really recommend that you do use it. Go out into nature, really connect with yourself. You might feel like you're really feeling very tired, or you might be getting sort of feeling ill. The things will be showing up, okay? This Sagittarius new moon is also very much about truth telling. Now, the truth telling might not be a verbal truth telling that you want to or be needing to be doing, but that you need to be telling the truth to yourself, okay? So that will be showing up in your world. It will be showing up in the environment you're in. It'll be showing up in your heart and in your sphere. You will know what needs to be seen, what needs to be let go of. All right, so I've already shuffled some cards. And like I said, I've got 3 stacks here, and I've got a general, I've got a chakra stack here as well. And oops, okay, that one's popped out. And we will have a look, because I always do the chakras each week, and I really feel it's really important. Now, in order to sort of follow your soul path as well, it's really important that you actually get connected to yourself and your heart. And we've been really moving towards this. This whole year has been quite an erratic, quite a challenging year, to say the least, for many, many people. And we've been very much dictated to by lots of things, by truths and untruths as well. The whole year has been about that. And also sort of really challenging people to sort of start testing their own inner truth, rather than what's, there's a universal truth, there's relative truths, and there's personal truths. My readings are generally on the personal note, always will be. And so you will sort of, while it's a collective reading, this is going to affect you personally. I'm only interested in personal evolution and personal growth, because I believe through each and every one of us growing and evolving, we're also going to make a massive collective shift as a whole, okay? Because we're at one of each other. Anyhow, the chakra that I actually got card-wise is actually forgiveness, which I think is absolutely poignant. All right, I've been feeling this myself as well. So I really think, in fact, the channeled message, which is what I got, or the message from Spirit, I got today, as well as, I'll just read it quickly. Time to respect all endings, okay? New life wants to be created. Bury the past and forgive, okay? That's the message I got today. I'm sorry that the light's changing here. I'm not in my own home environment, and everything's a bit slightly different. So that's the message, and it goes on actually. And the other message, or the additional, was new beginnings cannot flourish without right endings. Okay. Now, when I say right endings, I feel that the message there for me was to sort of say that we do need to sort of ritualize endings. It could be a burial, it could be a prayer, it could be writing a letter, it could be actually just going for a walk and releasing through tears. But the truth of the matter is, we cannot do it without any acknowledgement to know that there is some kind of ending that needs to happen perhaps our wishes and our hopes and dreams at some point were crushed, had been dismantled. We all had a year this year. And really this energy is from not even this year, it's from, months preceding that. We can be looking really at this particular new moon in Sagittarius being very much triggered and affected with all the conjunctions from the Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which started in April 19. Around about then. So we've also really, really been going through quite a journey. Okay. So just really acknowledge how far you've come, how much you have endured, how much you have felt, how much maybe you've had to sort of undergo. It's very, very important. But the chakra really, like I said, and the theme I really want to bring in to the space is forgiveness. Okay. It could be forgiving yourself. It could be forgiving the other person. It could be forgiving a family member. It could be forgiving yourself for spending years on it in a job that you realize has no bearing to you in your life, and you're feeling, wow, I've actually wasted all this time, or so it may seem. So forgiveness is very much an opportunity. Okay, and in order to forgive as well, I really want people to get with a program about not forcing forgiveness as well. Forgiveness is very much a process. It has its own seasons. And so you might sort of feel that you've forgiven, or you thought, oh my God, I thought I forgave so-and-so. And you might find that emotions are coming back up again. Okay, say it could be to do with a breakup or a relationship that you've been in that turned out to be a real nightmare, or perhaps your partner's had an affair, or possibly, that, you found that your relationship has ended and, your partner's moved on very quickly, whatever it is, or your dreams were crushed. Okay. Maybe you thought it was going to be a happily ever after, and it wasn't one of those. All right. And believe me, we were never on our own with these things, but it is all our personal journey as well. So it's to be respected. So regarding forgiveness, I think it's really sometimes good that we forbear, we sort of take stock and maybe just forget the whole thing for a bit so we can get on with our lives. There's a place for that. There are the times that you might find that you actually had to get going, you had to do things, you had to be functioning, you had to sort of earn your money, you had to be sort of getting on with life. And then you find that sometimes when the space is there, that you feel all these emotions are re-entering and there's some more emotions to be released. So do be kind to yourself, do tend to your self-care, and certainly be compassionate to yourself. Okay. And you'll know when you have forgiven somebody as well. Okay. Because when you forgive them, it's not phony. It's not I forgive them because they didn't know any better, which is also just actually a justification in your mind. And it's a mental thing. It's not a hard thing. A hard thing is when you don't actually get triggered by it anymore. A hard thing is when you really mean and wish them well. A hard forgiveness is also when you are not carrying the burden of the pain anymore, and you can start seeing the light into a new life. So I really feel that this is a very important ritual to be doing. So anybody with some debris of incompletion, this really is, and for me particularly as a message to you as a messenger, that you really spend some time in the days ahead before the new year, spending some time cultivating on endings and forgiveness, so we can really clear the path of new beginnings, so it can begin to flourish. Okay. One of the other cards I really felt that also is related to the forgiveness, or with the heart chakra. Okay. The color green, which is in your heart space. So going in, doing some heart chakra meditations or sound. The sound to the heart chakra is Ah, is ah, and you can do that a few times as well, or you can follow a video on YouTube. I do also have one particularly to do with COVID, or during sort of stressful times. Okay, that's also my YouTube playlist. Do have a look, or any heart chakra based meditations on forgiveness and releasing and letting go. I do have that also on one of my playlists, and I will put the link below. But in order to move forward and to really start following our path, this is a soul's journey surrender card. Okay, so I feel like we're all collectively moving definitely towards our soul path. Now, if you don't know what it is exactly, just ask so you can receive the clear message and the clarity around it. Okay, so you can make choices around what is coming to you, and trust your heart, trust your intuition, and trust your feelings. Okay, what you feel and what is true for you maybe not be true for another person, or what is true for another person is not going to be true for you. So this is where we really have been challenged at the moment, and have been for the last several months particularly, that it is really important that we're waking up to following our true soul's path. Now, the soul path does not have to mean a career path either. It's about what speaks to you. You know, where do you want to live? How do you want to live? Who do you want to be with? Who do you want in your life? You know, who do you not want around in your life anymore? You know, what really moves you? Are you a morning person? You know, or are you a nocturnal person at night? You know, can you honor that? You know, if your husband or your wife actually prefers, you know, another time, you know, do you always give yourself out and out, up to what you really want to do? So this is really, really important, okay, that you start honoring yourself, your own truth. Are you somebody who always puts other people's needs first and then forgoes yours, and then until you suddenly feel very ill and you find that maybe your body's telling you something? So wherever you are, it is really important to start really trusting yourself. And this is where the truth telling is important. Okay, this new moon is really going to expose where we need to see where we're lying to ourselves and where we can be really true to ourselves as well. Okay, and maybe even paying attention to where other people are lying, so you don't actually align with them and know your truth. Okay, so if you're somebody very easily influenced, or you're going along with the masses because you don't want to be left out of the group, or be this person speaking up for some truth that you know is true for you and everybody has a different take on it, can you stand in your own power and really, really take on what is true for your soul and your path? Okay, now what's interesting is I also do the moon cards. So some of you have been following, I've been using the moonology cards, and for the collective as well, I think this is also very powerful. And just turning it over, it says you are good enough. So that actually really ties in with the soul path as well. Okay, you are good enough to be, actually trust yourself. It's never a question of not being enough. This is one thing you really need to understand. It is never a question of you are not good enough or enough to exist. Okay, you are born, you're alive, you the fact that you're here on earth shows that you're good enough. So never devalue yourself, never compare yourself, if you can, to another person or how the other person's responding or not. You are good enough as you are, and you're unique. Okay, and your uniqueness will have an effect on people. So wherever you are, do not compare yourself, and just notice that you need to release the perfectionism, you know, or the sort of striving too hard, okay, or even feeling that, you know, whatever you're doing has no standing. This is really important, that you've got to know that you are good enough. Again, get heart-centered, go into your heart space, and just speak to yourself as a loving mother would, and nurture yourself and nourish yourself with the words that I am good enough, and in all the kind of loving words that you might want to impart. This also interesting, this moon card here has very much the green tone to it, which is also a heart chakra. So a beautiful time to end the year with all that we've gone through. Shed your tears, you know, do a ritual of burial, if you like, you know, writing a letter, burning it, or at least releasing it. Okay, this is really important. And I feel that it is really important that we connect to our hearts. So I can't recommend that you just follow some kind of heart yoga or heart-centered practices, or do things that you love. Okay, when we start really owning what we love as well, and we start connecting to that, we are true to our hearts as well, and it actually helps to heal and mend the heart. Okay, I'm going to leave you as a general reading now with one of the last sayings here. I am aware that how I respond, I have a choice. Okay, in fact, I'm going to read it again. I am aware that I have a choice as to how I respond to what is happening in my life. My responses have an enormous effect on my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Okay, now the heart chakra is actually a bridge between the upper chakras and the lower chakras. So I really believe that as well, that when you really kind of concentrate on your heart, and your self-power as well, which is the solar plexus, you know, you can really start bridging and actually channeling the strength both from the ground level up as well as from the up level down. And it's really important, and you will be able to make conscious choices that really are supportive and nourishing and nurturing to you. So I'm going to repeat this, and this will be going across the screen. I am aware that I have a choice as to how I respond to what is happening in my life. Because we're going through a new moon, this eclipse might force a situation, might force your hand to make a choice, or you might find something absolutely brilliant and stunning coming in to your life as well. So wherever you are, just be open to trust that however and whatever happens, good or bad, you have a choice to respond to it, okay? And my responses have an enormous effect on my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So again, you know, if something was to sort of say you were to have the rug pulled underneath your feet, you might suddenly feel like a victim or start acting like a victim or complaining or moaning. Okay, you might actually be, say, noticing that something or somebody or some people, a group of people say are maybe very aggressive and stuff, and you sort of go against them in an aggressive manner. Okay, we have a choice. We can either come from the compassionate heart and be educational that way, or we can fight. All right. I'd like to say that neither it's wrong. It is not about right or wrong. It's about what really serves the situation and what really actually supports much more of a peaceful and a loving nature that we're all wanting to strive towards and wanting in our lives. Okay. So just notice that your life is a reflection of how you are and what you see and what you perceive. Okay. So that is a general reading for the overall casting of the new moon in Sagittarius. I might add a few more things, but right now I'm just going to stay with that. So for those who are wanting pile one, there's pile one, there's a stack one, there's stack two, and there is stack three. Okay, stack three got 2 cards as well. And like I said, you can actually read it as a whole. Yeah, so I've started with the surrender path cards, as this is what I feel could be the challenge or maybe what you need to learn or you need to do. So for stack one, okay, and again, I've got crystals, but we can call it pile one. This is for the people who might want to choose amethyst. I've got amethyst, I've got the Smokey quartz. I've got very limited crystals with me because I've traveled and I'm here with the few crystals. So I'll just be changing them around. There are not many to choose from. And this is the green Aventurine, pile 3. Okay, but all you need to know is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So for the people who choose stack 1, okay, this is, okay, so just take a moment actually just to decide to choose which pile you might want and you're moving towards. Is it pile 1, the amethyst card, or a pile of cards? Is it the Smokey quartz, which is stack 2? Or stack 3, is stack 3 calling you, and it's the green Aventurine, okay? But 1, 2, or 3. So we'll start with 1, okay? So the surrender card that I'm just want to share here is, so stack 1, you might need to actually look in order for you to move forward. Okay, this is based also on the Sagittarius new moon theme, all right, is you might have and been spending a lot of time actually wanting to sort of fix people. Okay, you might be a fixer-upper. You might be somebody who actually always likes to interfere or can't help but actually, I won't say meddle in people's lives, but also always sort of intervening and playing devil's advocate and actually wanting to sort of create harmony. Okay, that's somebody who actually always wants to keep everything's, you know, there are people who tend to sometimes actually want to be seen as being doing all right as well. Okay, like being liked. Okay, so you're either somebody naturally who will fix people up because you want everything to be in harmony all the time, or you're actually either somebody who tends to sort of coalesce with other people and appease people. The card here actually says it's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try and fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his own healing. So also, if somebody is always carrying another, enabling another, this is a real time to end this so you can actually start a new life that you really deserve. Okay, if you're in a partnership where there's a typical imbalance of respect, mutual regard, or mutual sharing, you know, you might have always just allowed it, or you might always wanting to sort of fix somebody. You might always be telling them how to do their lives, what to do and stuff. This card and message is very much for you. So if this resonates with anybody as a whole, okay, just take it on board that this is a really good time to actually let go physically or emotionally, certainly, or psychically and energetically, any need to fix people up, okay? It really is none of your business how people decide to do. If it's something that doesn't work for you, there's no need to fix them. Just know that it's not somebody that you can actually be with or is actually right for you. Sometimes a harsh truth, yes, I know, but maybe that is the truth that you need to hear right now. Okay, the second card, I've chosen the Osho cards this time instead of the the Thoth cards I had last new moon. So for the full moon cards, I'm going to start using the Osho cards. Okay, for the Osho card here, interestingly, I think it really reflects this. It's a very stressful card. This is a stress. Okay, this is now really definitely time to let go of stress. This is somebody who's juggling too many candles or too many balls in the air, who's trying to do too much, who's trying to be very impressive. And you can see the monkey's about to pop that balloon or that bubble. And I really also recommend that actually you start actually sort of, you know, eradicating and omitting things that you don't need to concern yourself with, okay, or even people that you don't need to be concerning yourself with, or people you've actually sort of just collected and had in your circle. And this is a really good time to shine some light just to see which ones are worth keeping and which ones are worth going. Okay, now notice whether people respond to your messages, how they respond. Do they ignore you? You know, are you somebody who's always trying to just keep everything sweet so you don't actually have to face things and confront things? My eyes has also led to the bow and arrow there, which is also very Sagittarius. Okay, the archer, this is now time for you to actually start aiming and putting your sights towards the community, towards the people that you know that are a reflection of your truth, your heart, you know, and be honest about what it is that you want. You know, just don't put it generally like I want friends. Okay, what kind of friends? You know, are friends who, you know, are helpful? Are they supportive? Do they support your life and your career or your choices of, you know, your choices full stop? Okay, you know, get rid of the dream breakers, okay? Because there are people who are actually actually don't have your best interest at heart, and they're kind of camouflaged, you know, and you might have had them, you know, but like here, the monkey, you know, the person is always sort of, you know, somebody always being the monkey in your life who's always kind of like, you know, giving you a bit of a natter and sort of putting things down very subtly, okay? These are the things you really need to get rid of. All right, well, beautiful new moon message. Again, this message for you in terms of the moon. For Pile 1 Amethyst people, concentrate on your prosperity. Okay, what is prosperity to you? Okay, is prosperity to you meaning having lots of money? Is it actually having lots of really good friends? Is it having a home life that is calm, you know, supportive and nurturing? Okay, prosperity can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people, including your wealth. Okay, prosperity also could be making choices that give you stability. Okay, because it's in Taurus, it's about beautiful things here as well. So I feel like in some way that by actually putting your intention out there, that you can actually start calling in the prosperity. And this goes for anybody listening to this. Do take it on yourselves. So put some intentions around prosperity and be in gratitude also the prosperity that you already have, despite the fact that you might think you actually might not have that much. Okay, so this is the new moon blessing for you that lies ahead, which is to do with prosperity. Now, the other cards I've been using as terms of growth is these empowering cards, okay, empowering questions. Now, for Power 1, it says here, what is it that fascinates me so much that the thought or feeling of it won't leave me alone? Wow, this is so great. Okay, how do I put this feeling into action right now? Okay, if you're fixated with somebody because they're not doing what they're meant to do, if your mind and feeling is going towards that all the time and you're feeding it and you're thinking negatively and you really want to get rid of it, okay, now what action can you actually take to make that happen? Okay, this could be also a creative expression that is fascinating to you right now and you're really thinking about it and you're kind of like, it's kind of floating in your mind and you think, oh, I don't know, or you know, you might get an inclination to put a YouTube channel together or to start a blog, or you might start actually putting a, you know, therapy practice together or some course together, whatever it is. Okay, so I'll read it one more time. What is it that fascinates me so much that the thought or feeling of it won't leave me alone? Okay, now how do I put this feeling into action right now? It could be that you want to move somewhere, okay, or you have an inclination that you actually want to move towards something or someone. You know, again, be honest. Okay, this is really a time for honesty. We couldn't have a better new moon to start laying the foundation of truth, our soul path that is true to ourselves. Okay, our soul, we're all individual. Okay, and just know that the journey that we're going through, wherever you are, whatever hurdles you might be faced with or anything that you've overcome, is to serve your soul growth. And the next stage, the next step, which is where we're all entering into, will provide us the pathway, if you like, by being honest and truthful and trusting our feelings. Okay, and in order to put this into action, I really recommend as well that you do some heart chakra, like I said earlier on. So this goes for everybody as well. So for Amethyst people, get rid of people that you tend to want to fix. If you're wanting to fix somebody, it's not your business. There is a saying that not so much what the other person thinks of me is none of my business, although that's a really great one. You know, it's kind of like they're a circus, not my monkey, or their monkey, or not my circus, or whatever. I'm not quite sure how it goes, but basically, whatever noise anybody else is making, just forget it. Okay, just forget it. You know, and particularly at this time as well, actually, because, you know, we've got the North Node in Sagittarius, so the opposite of that is Gemini, which is the North Node, sorry, Sagittarius South Node, Gemini North Node. So there's a lot of information. Okay, we're all trying to create new things as well. This is a new path we're all moving to collectively. So there's a lot of, I mean, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so there's a lot of noise out there too. So be selective as to what you want to have in your life. I know that it can't be part of every group, every, you know, and there's a lot out there now, a lot of webinars being sold, a lot of courses being sold, a lot of this, that, and the other. And, you know, you can't fix everything, you know, just accept yourself and know that you're good enough as you are, and just trust that you can actually allow certain things in. Otherwise, it definitely becomes too noisy around your life, which is also going to cause you mental stress. Okay, so moving on, I'll just, you know, so that's for the Amethyst people. There's pile number 2, which is a pyramid of Smokey Quartz. Let's see what you're reading is. Okay, so we'll open the surrender card. Wow, nice. Okay, so now this is very much to do with also your heart chakra as well, but also to do with your creativity. Very important to get out of your head. Very important that you actually start following your truth and your passion. So Smokey Quartz people, if you've been denying some passion, you might want to take up dancing, you might want to take up some hobby, or maybe really look at how you want to reinvent and recreate your life. Okay, this year has been very much about dismantling about a lot of things that we've all got so used to. We've moved from what was called the normal to the new normal, whatever that is. But, you know, your normal, your life could have taken a major turn and a twist. Okay, and so it might have given you an opportunity to start cultivating on something new. Okay, you might have been somebody who's traveled a lot to do with your work. And now, of course, with all the COVID and all the changes and pandemic and stuff, there's been huge travel restrictions or less contact you might have been able to have physically, and has forced you actually maybe to be more grounded and more rooted in a sense in your home space. And perhaps you started discovering a new passion. You might have taken up card making or making some crafting, some new, in fact, I met this woman, you know, which reminds me of this woman who actually, you know, started creating a new liquor, you know, through the fruits here, you know, and yeah, so, you know, there's some new creative stuff, but this is about really surrendering to it. Try not to get into your head about it, thinking, oh, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. Okay, remember the main theme is following your soul path. So it says here, get out of your head. Feel the fire in your belly, focus on the people, activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. So the message is very similar. As I said earlier on, just really have people who support you, who nourish you, and who really get what you want to support you, okay? People don't have to get what they do, but they're actually really on your side as well and really supportive of what you do and sort of rooting for you. And that's very important. Get rid of anybody. Forgive those who can't root for you as well. Maybe just don't get it, but that's fine. If they're just not meant to be around you and with you. Okay, the next card I think we'll go for, this is fantastic as well. I love it. Okay, this is a card of comparison. So some of you could be comparing yourself to other people or feeling that, oh, I don't know, other people are doing it already and I can't be that good, or what would my product be? There's so many of it already out there and it's not good enough, or in comparison to, again, matches this card. Okay, so whether you've chosen stack 2 or you're just getting a message as well, some of you could be experiencing that I don't know if I actually have anything specific to offer, or what I have to offer maybe won't be good enough because so-and-so has been doing it a lot longer than me, or other people have been doing it a lot longer than me. Okay, or you might be comparing yourself to a teacher or somebody you're learning from and you're really excited about wanting to start, but you feel like, oh, you may not be as good as them, or you'll never get to that stage, or whatever it is. Okay, so comparison, that needs to go out, and that is often because we feel that we're not good enough. Just keep on saying to yourself that I am good enough at what I do. Okay, and just trust that you're building it up. Just trust that you'll be, you know, able to bend with what you're learning. And really, it's just a negative thinking. So again, you know, the advice here is to move towards your passion. Do not compare yourself to somebody else or what somebody else is already doing on the market, or anything. could be even motherhood. It could be anything with, you know, it could be even me, you know, somebody doing some tarot cards. Maybe you want to start doing that as well, and just think, oh, I don't know if I'm as good as so-and-so, and, you know, I look really stupid. Again, if that speaks to you, if that's what ignites your joy or your passion, just give it a go and see where it takes you, okay? And do not compare yourself to anybody else. Now, what's lovely here for the moon card I've got here, which I've just turned around, is bring love into the situation. Okay, so wherever you are, bring love into the space. Okay, bring love into your passion. So again, bring love as the forefront of what it is that you want to do. All right, you know, if maybe somebody's actually talking badly of you because they're comparing themselves to you and making you feel bad, just bring love into the situation as well. Okay, or bring love to you. Okay, this is about really letting go of anything that does not serve you as well, and cultivate on what serves you and what can nourish you and feed you as well. I'm going to have a quick look at this card. Actually, this is a book here. New Moon Aquarius. Let me see if I can find it. 262. So this is for this second stack. So maybe for you, you know, you might find that something has gone a bit off, or you're comparing yourself maybe in a relationship to others, and you're thinking, you know, maybe you want to cultivate on bringing more love into your approach. Okay. It's very easy to blame others about what's not working, and maybe perhaps you've got used to that and you're acting out in a way that doesn't serve the situation anymore as well. So where can you bring love into the situation to improve the relationship, or to improve the quality of friendship, or the quality of work, or the quality in your work? Okay, often it's to do with, we've forgotten to connect to our hearts, which is to do with the heart chakra, and that's where love also comes from. So I feel like for the second stack, there is something to do with love, loving, and being more loving in a situation that you are, to do with a thing, situation, or a person. Okay. Yeah, you might also want to detach, you might want to detach yourself so you're not getting hooked in, and so bringing love to yourself is the other thing. All right. This is very much about burning your karma as well. So if you've been hurt, you know, this is really about bringing love into the situation. Now, this does not mean to say that you don't forgive. Okay. I know a lot of people, you know, who paste over the truth, or are unable to even speak their truth to people, so they're not seen as being negative or bad, you know, or complaining. The fact is, you can only actually move through things when you really acknowledge what's there. Okay, and you can only forgive somebody actually, rather than pasting love over it. Maybe you need to detach yourself from the situation and actually really sort of, you know, acknowledge the hurt that was caused, the pain that it's caused, and maybe the broken promises that you experienced, in order for the new sense of self and love to sprout, as well as for forgiveness to enter. Okay, but I feel that here, bring love into this situation. So for some of you, I'm just going to have a quick read here. It says Aquarius is all about progress and modernity. So okay, we're moving into, we all know that on the 21st, we're going to have the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn going into 0 degrees Aquarius. That's a big deal, a very, very big deal. We're starting a new era of Aquarius. So this is often, and I really suggest that this is why the letting go for me, I think, is really important, because you do not want to be carrying baggage, okay, or a big baggage or heavy baggage into a new time. So cultivate, it's a bit like doing the irrigation. Okay, in order for new plants to grow, healthy plants to grow, you have to irrigate the soil. So this is to do with us irrigating our emotions as well. Really spend some time with yourself, with a therapist, or with a coach, or with somebody like me, okay, to help you actually really irrigate what's there and what can be really taken out. I can't emphasize that. Okay, this is a time of no looking back. So again, really important, and this is a general message as well. I say change is on its way and it could come quickly. Okay, whether you get the change you want depends on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. So again, this is about being action orientated as well. So really start acting and going towards what you know, and not what you know, sorry, what you want. Okay, this is about you choosing how to respond to a situation. So if you don't like somewhere where you are, or something's not working out for you, then you start acting out, or start making the inquiry, start going out there and talking to people, start putting notices up on your local community board, start spreading the word, start taking action. That's how you create a new life. Okay, so for passion, for stack number 2, very much time to bring love in. All right. And it says this card comes with a suggestion that you may need to do things independently or on your own. Be loving, not too pragmatic. Time may be the essence when this comes up. Okay, Aquarius energy has electric feel to it. Certainly there is a sense that you need to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. Okay, the electric energy I feel is also this card of passion. You see how she's got that pulsating heartbeat there. It's all very electrifying around this. So I feel that that's also very much in keeping. So this is really using that as a monitor and as a guide. Now, the other thing interesting I've been asked to do and started doing is actually writing Taroscope, which is also to do with astrology and the tarot cards together. And they will be in print. I may actually put them up on my website as well. So do have a look, to come back or to go into my website, but they will be up for January. And I already did Aquarius. And if I remember, Aquarius was very much about, you know, just trusting that there is something new wanting to come out. Okay, something along those lines. I can't remember because I did it a few days ago, and I've done a few more since then. But again, you know, that's something new that I might start, you know, sort of investing more time in. But I have been asked to do that for a friend's website, and it's actually quite fun. All right, so now last card for stack 2 is what is the worst that could happen if I let go of things that no longer serve me? Oh my Lord. Okay, so talk about, you know, reiteration of the same thing. Okay, this is what I'm saying. You need to let go of things that no longer serve you. This is really about endings. Yeah, I don't think I really want to reiterate that, but this is clearly for stack 2 on anybody who's taking it all as a reading for them. What is the worst that could happen if I let go of things that no longer serve me? Okay, you might be afraid to let go or to speak your truth because you might be seen as the outsider. All right, but what's the worst that could happen? In fact, in times like this, you know, you have yourself. It's important to always have yourself. Okay, when you're not truthful to yourself, you let yourself down. You abandon yourself. All right, so these times are over now. You really got to start being on your side, being the best person, your best buddy, your best friend, your lover, mother, father to yourself. All right. And this also is what is the worst that could happen if I let go of things that no, you know, if you have to let go of somebody that you actually befriended and actually realize that they're a real dick or a real ass or a real whatever, you know, and you actually sort of, you know, feel a bit sort of bad about that. So what? So what? You know, you're true to yourself. That's what's so important. Okay. So, you know, nothing's going to happen. If somebody decides that they don't like you for that, who cares? Really? Who cares? All right. So let go of what doesn't serve you. Okay. It could be a habit, actually. Maybe it's eating too much of something. Maybe it's just, you know, getting out of, you know, movement and action, you know, whatever. Just question, what is the worst that could happen if I let go of things that no longer serve me? You know, so it could be a food element. So what, you know, whatever it is for you, you know what it is. Ask yourself that question. And I will probably put them down as well in the description box. So finally, moving into the green Aventurine stack 3, third pile. Again, this could be for anybody as well who wants to stay on and tune in to listen to as an overall reading. However, this reading is for you, so you can take it how you want. You can have all the gifts from all the stacks, or you can actually just choose one. All right. So this is nice. Okay. So surrender to the effortlessness. All right, so this is about making things easy. This really is also the other thing is, you know, we don't actually sit back for things to come, but it's actually trusting the flow, trusting your energy field when it needs to go forward. I'll give you an example of that. For example, I was going to do this recording yesterday, but I just was feeling absolutely exhausted. Didn't feel like it, didn't feel moved to do it, and it wasn't going to be easy. Okay, whereas this morning, you know, the fact that I know that I wanted to get this up, but it was just effortless to be here today and to be able to be engaged in this reading and flowing with it. So it could be anything like that. You know, we've, you know, tried too hard to make things happen. Anyway, it says here, stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. Okay, so that could mean also that you might want to be making some changes instead of, you know, attacking or pushing through every door. Maybe you just want to make it effortless. You know, if you put your word out to somebody about an inquiry, perhaps wait for it to come back with an answer, okay, instead of pushing. Again, you know, just trust the flow of something, okay? Trust you. Again, trust the inner self, okay? Trust what the path is calling you, trust what's around you in your life right now instead of trying to go back to what was there before. Okay, so surrender to effortlessness. Now, I got 2 cards for the Osho cards, and like I said, I don't know because they both fell out. In fact, I did several shuffles for the last one, and I kept on getting too many cards. So in the end, I just kind of gave in, and there were 2, and I decided to take both of them. And here we are. The first one is the card of sorrow. I feel that this is to do with the 9 of Swords, which often is portrayed in the regular Rider-Waite. But this one, you can see there's a monk there sitting, or some figure, a man sitting there feeling regrettable. I think this ties in actually really well with the forgiveness card, and also the message that I got to do with, we need to release the sorrow, whatever sorrow you might have been experiencing, feeling, perhaps you've been flushing out and purging some emotion. Okay, so maybe some memories have been coming up for you. You know, this is a really good time to put an ending to it. And if you see closely at the back of this card, there is a gap, a doorway into an unlimited source, if you like, of the universe, the sky with all the lights. If you ever stand out in, you know, if you're lucky enough to see these sort of stars, and you just see the vastness of the universe and the vastness of the cosmos, and there's a vastness to kind of almost all, okay? And when you're sort of too in your mind, regretting moves or feeling sad about a relationship that perhaps that broke up, or maybe an opportunity that you didn't take, or feeling that you messed up, maybe you're blaming yourself now that you're feeling that you've done something wrong, that if you only were this and if you only were that, forgetting that actually maybe you wouldn't have left the relationship if it was that great. Okay, maybe you've not put an end to it if that person was actually always sort of in a space that was fueling and not feel, if it was fueling the negativity, it's a hard thing to be around all the time, okay? So do not regret whatever it is, and it's time to release the sorrow. And I thought what was so beautiful, because the other card that fell out with it was this receptive. So you see, so this wants to happen. This is the Ace of Cups. This is about being open to receiving your good. And notice that here in her body, it goes right across down her heart, or across her chest. This is about the lotus, being receptive to receiving. Now, you can only receive once you release this. This is like a block, okay? You know, you might be wishing for something new to come in, but the gap is small because you're too busy in your head and feeling badly about the ending of something, or regret of something, or the pain of something, or the trauma of something that somebody did to you years ago, be it in your childhood, or an indecent assault, or anything, okay? Like I said, you need to just get back into compassionate self, first for yourself, and also into forgiveness, okay? And just let the forgiveness happen, but do not hold on to the story, because that's when it becomes classified and kind of cages you in. Really important. And I feel this card has come up because it is now time to let things flow. It is time for things to just be. It is time for you to maybe even feel not guilty anymore about moving towards something in your dreams, and to be receptive to what's coming. I really suggest, actually, and this goes for everybody, but particularly pack number 3 or stack number 3 people, that you open up to really asking for what you want. Just be bold. Just be honest and truthful, and tell the truth. Write it down. You don't have to tell it to anybody else, but write it down and see what will come through. This new moon is a powerful new moon. It's an eclipse, and the energy and the intention and of the Sagittarius Archer as well. Really aim far, aim high, aim the truth, for whatever it is, and see it, because it's going to be a 6 months energy. So this will come into effect maybe in May, June time as well. So this is a time to actually set your intentions clearly and effectively as well as you can, and be open to receiving your good. You've done your work. You've done your emotional work. Okay. And it's always ongoing as well. You know, we never end working and finding that there's more layers, if you like, but each layering, each healing, each new ending is a new beginning, and leaves us to receive even more. Okay, so this is a wonderful card, and again, just know that you're good enough to receive. Okay, forget the past. The past could have been a really hard many years. Okay, maybe to put you disbelieve that you can actually really have what you want, and you're good enough to have what you want, or maybe things hadn't really materialized for you, or maybe you didn't get the success you wanted before, or maybe for all the work you've put out there over the years, you still have had very little return, either monetary wise or relationship wise or whatever. But this is now time to really forget that. This is such a great time to bury and end the times of harshness. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay. So this card here is do not let the past hold you back. This is what I was just saying. Jeez. I love it. I love it when, when this happens. So, you know, I'm kind of sort of saying something and you get this next card, or cards just really relate to each other. So this is so important. And this is actually a South Node. So, you know, this is Sagittarius. We're Sagittarius South Node. And South Node is to do with our past lives, past karma. Okay. And the past is, we don't want the past to hold us back. And it's very easy to be held back by the past. And the fact that this is in Sagittarius South Node placing on this eclipse is the time to let go of the past, and to no longer in this lifetime as well, to let the past hold you, the script. Yeah. Whatever has happened, it's time to let go. I'm feeling quite moved as well, because it's quite a big thing for me. So this is a time to create a new life. All right, and to be open and just trust that no matter what hardship, no matter what pain, no matter what story that you've experienced, it is time to allow yourself to receive. Okay, and get rid of the stories of the past. Okay, and definitely some forgiveness work. Okay, leading up to these few days, as you can see from my tears, it's been quite a time for me, myself. So this is really the kind of collective energy that's been going on. And I know from the people also surrounding me at the moment, they've been going through quite a lot. There's a lot of letting go, but just trust it's a very exciting time, because there's just new beginnings to be had. Now, finally, I've just turned this last card over as well. Is there something I should let go of to be able to move forward? So again, okay, so it could be, you know, memories of the past relationship. Okay, it could be maybe a career, you know, that you've been sort of invested so much time in, and maybe it's time to let go of that so you can move forward on an empty slate or a blank canvas. All right. Okay. It's going to be unique and individual, but I really feel there's a massive, massive correlation between all of these stacks today. They really resemble, there's a lot of crossover. So the theme is really quite clear to me, that it is very much about letting go, trusting our soul path. Okay. Life's journey is not all smooth, certainly not. And it's often very complicated, very convoluted, and it serves our soul growth. All right. So, it is not about hiding from the truth of our pain. Okay, transformation also is can be quite a painful process, as in, or uncomfortable, or one that actually requires the death and rebirth cycle. All right, you know, and there's so much out there in social media that shows such perfection, you know, which is this sort of, you know, full moon in Virgo card, that we are often thinking that we're not good enough to show up as being very honest and vulnerable, or actually we haven't always got it all together, you know, especially if in a modality like, you know, the healers or the coaches or anybody, you know, we're all doing the best we can. We're all growing. We're all learned from our own experiences, and we become the kind of the educators and the teachers and the guides and the mentors. Okay. You know, these kind of things do not come out of a textbook. They come from real life experiences. They come from our trauma. They come from our own, you know, learning. You know, you can teach more from your learning itself than just through, you know, other people's words. Okay. So an experiential life is one that is exactly that. And we can teach truthfully from that point. So I really feel that this Sagittarius new moon is very much one of endings and new beginnings. And I will be ending the reading here now. And I really wish you all the best. Okay. There will be another new moon reading. This is a new moon, sorry, a full moon reading in 2 weeks' time. or possibly maybe certainly into the new year. Okay, and I just turned the bottom of the deck here, so I think this is a really lovely card just to share and to end with. There's always prayer. Okay, and it is really imperative that there is prayer. I'm always a bit shocked when I find people that don't believe in the power of prayer or pray, and I'm sure they do in some way, even if it's like, oh, please help me. But one of gratitude and, you know, a prayer to maybe get release or to get comfort in our hearts, or to help be able to move on and to release whatever is no longer working. Okay, prayer is, you know, a personal conversation with Source, God. It could be your Jesus, it could be your Allah, it could be, you know, your Buddha. It doesn't really matter. Okay, you know, when it comes to that power of Source, religion is irrelevant. Okay, it's the connection of your heart to something greater. Anyway, it says here, give yourself completely over to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you'll be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. So this is my gift to you, my sharing with you. I really hope you've got something from this reading. There was a lot here, I feel. So do, you know, look at it again if you need to. Take whatever messages has resonated. It's not going to resonate with everybody, but I do feel that the overall message is there is an ending, and we're in a powerful new beginning, and we're collectively shifting into a new era as well. Okay, so we're bound to be feeling quite a lot, and we're bound to be emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally feeling it. So wherever you are on the scale of all four, or part of all four, you're totally on track. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, you're radiant, you're beautiful, you are love. And just surrender yourself and your burdens and your wishes all to prayer. Okay, and lots of love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with me this far of the video. I really truly hope that you got something. Lots of love, and I look forward to doing the next one for you. And thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye.